Hey guys. And he was kind of beating all around the bush, and he said the reason was because really the person he has back home is his findom, and that she finally, and I was like, what? That's a thing?
But there's applying it, and then there's the actual action of communication.
Right.
Like when you discipline a child, you tell
Keep going. And then when we do it, you gotta say, "Scissor me, daddy." Like that. All right?
No, you know.
This is
Different.
not the fucking thing to do. Like,
They think that's normal.
I got you, like, buddy. I can't help her.
Minutes later, I see a pizza slide under my door. No contact. Like, I'm good.
You see the pizza slide under the door with the hands, and your fucking hand slam down on top of it and grab his.
We have an initial physical type of what we like to see initially, because our eye is always drawn to something. I can see a tall guy, big and broad shoulders, and I'm like, ooh, nice. But if he talks to me, and I'm gonna be like, maybe not. Okay, so Mike, until we get the rest of the guys in, do you want to start with your first question for us ladies? First of all, are you drinking a Capri Sun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. First things first, what is happening?
all right, so I'm back.
Mike and the Capri Sun.
You had it ready.
I did.
Did you take a shot before you?
I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Hello.
What's going on? What's going
This
on?
son is so disrespectful.
Oh,
When will
Jesus.
the sun go down?
You trying to watch the podcast too? You know what I mean? Jesus want to watch it too. I'm holding out on God. He said, "What's up?" Like,
Right.
but okay. So welcome to We Got Questions podcast. It's been a little bit since we were on.
We just missed
I've
1
been
week.
waiting for you guys.
Just one.
Just 1 week. Just 1 week. Shouts out to everybody that definitely comes back second time around, the third time around, and all that good stuff. Excuse me. But yes, We Got Questions podcast. Welcome in. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Hennessy, aka Mr. Hennessy. I'm joined with the Basic One, and we are back. Like,
So good. I love it.
that shit came right on time too.
It did.
It came right on time. Like, that was dope. I like that a lot. But once again, everybody, please remember to like, subscribe, and follow us. Share it out to somebody that will benefit from this topic. And today is a good one. A good one today. I think this one is gonna be one of our better ones because we tend to do some dope ass topics, but this one is gonna be fun. We was gonna do something else, but I was like, you know what? Let's curve real quick. And she was ready. She was ready for my curve. I was like, oh shit, I thought she wasn't gonna be ready.
You got to be ready to bob and weave.
Yeah, that John, you threw a jab hard too.
Mm-hmm.
But today we are talking about relationship factors. Relationship factors. I will get the list of the different relationship factors, and then we could just pick what we think is the best ones. I'm sorry, I'm typing stuff in as we go. Factors. I don't know. I'm just talking shit. But
Of course.
the timing. Yeah, that shit was on point.
It was.
That shit was on point. It really was. But all right, so while we're here today, basically you want to talk about anything in particular before we start the topic? How was your week? How was all that stuff?
Gosh, I was telling you earlier, I had a very busy, like the whole week was busy from like Memorial Day weekend on. Like we had family in, family out. I got to meet Mel, which hopefully she pops
The first time,
which is cool for the very first time. I never.
Oh wow!
We got together and got to have dinner. I had some family come in. We did Memorial Day stuff. My niece got baptized. I had more family come in later on in the week, and we hung and did stuff. And then I was dog sitting this past weekend. So, yeah, a lot of stuff. But it's been good.
Okay.
It's been work. Work was not so good. Work was a little hectic and had me
It's always a little hectic.
Man, especially when it's month end. When it's month end, work is a beast. Work, it gets crazy. But outside of that, yes, very busy. Busy as a bee. I just, it made the week go by faster, I guess. I just really never felt like I had a moment to breathe, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It should make your week go by faster.
Yes, it definitely did.
Yeah. But all right, happy that it did. My week was full of fun stuff.
Okay.
My daughter, I had her twice this last week. My family had an event Sunday, went over there. That shit was fun. Shit was fun. I felt like I haven't hung around people, and it was like, you know how you see so much food, you get intimidated by it. Like that's how it was. I'm like, oh shit, I don't know.
But were you? Was there? Oh, it was the food that was intimidating. Did you allow yourself to enjoy the food, or were you like sticking to your dietary restrictions?
That part, sticking to the dietary thing.
Boo!
No. I ate, but I was chill. I didn't go ham.
Okay.
I didn't. It was like I wanted to mentally because it was like all that shit was sitting there. I was like, you know what, be good, take care of yourself. So that's what I did. I took care of myself.
Right.
I did the thing, and now shebang, I'm here. So able to tell you the story. But but we had a lot of fun. My daughter, she got to hang out with the family and stuff like that. She don't see them as often. But yeah, what I mean. Good job to me. That's what I'm talking about. Yay. But my daughter got to spend time with family, get to see a lot of family that she hasn't seen in a while. And I got to see my cousins, my my dad's side of the family that I haven't seen in a while too. So it's pretty dope to be able to hang out with my peoples and talk trash with them while they play that K-Dot. Like that's all I ask them. I say, yo, just give me a little bit of Kendrick Lamar. I'll be good after that. But yeah, so I got to do that, and then yesterday my daughter had her dance recital. So
that's always fun.
Hey, Christmas. What's going on?
I'm also, if I look down, I'm also sharing out the podcast. So
you're good. You're good. You're good.
I'm actually excited about tonight for a couple of reasons. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, I had an interesting conversation recently with my mother about about the things that I prioritize in relationships now, as opposed to the things that I might have prioritized when I was younger. And
so we can do both of those at the same time.
We can do that. We can definitely do that. Right. But it was always interesting. It was an interesting conversation, and I do feel like we really probably did come to it was a conversation that needed to happen. I think that a lot of times, and especially my mom, like I know she didn't mean any harm, but I feel like she wants a certain thing for me. Understandably, I'm her daughter and she loves me. But I think she still thinks of me, because I've never been married, as a young woman who's fresh into the dating world, right? Like I think she still thinks that I've never had any like real dating experiences, all of that stuff, right? The way she speaks sometimes is that, and I think the things that she wants from me, while there are very while I understand why she wants those things from me, some of those things just aren't priorities to me anymore. Or maybe not prioritized in the same way that she would like for me to prioritize them, because I'm in a different place in my life. And I think it was a conversation that needed to happen, because I think she felt like because I wasn't prioritizing things in a certain way, that I was selling myself short. And that
you were selling yourself short?
Yes, because she has a certain expectation for the type of thing that she wants from me. But while they're, like I said, while they're all good things, they're just not, they don't fit into my life or what I'm looking for in the same way anymore. And maybe I just don't prioritize it the same way or to the same magnitude that I would have when I was in my 20s or 30s.
Right. Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how everybody
reacts to this, because I feel like age, life experience, relationship experience will make these answers vary and differ. And there is really no wrong answer, because it's all subject to what you need personally. Right.
But I know people who feel very strongly, And I also know people who, like, if you say that you put this thing very high up on your list, there are going to be people who be like, how could you, and why is this important to you, and you going to miss out on this? That's not for you to judge. It's for me. You know what I mean? Like, people will be like, why are you prioritizing this over this? Because it's what I want. And I think that that's just kind of like how you really have to look at it. When you're thinking about how you prioritize stuff, it has to be based off of what's actually important to you.
Exactly.
And how it fits into your own personal life. And it don't matter what somebody else thinks. It only matters what you think.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah. So with that being said, as far as the prioritizing the factors in a relationship, let's throw some of the factors in there and see how you feel about these. Right. So you have commitment, communication, which is a big one. Conflict resolution, family and friends, partner style and habits, transparency and honesty, connection and intimacy, handling stress, managing anger.
Ooh.
I'm going to just throw it up on the screen, but this is, too much to read. Forgiveness,
Same.
financial management, leaving a legacy, relationship satisfaction, relationship realism, relationship growth, relationship intruders.
Ooh.
These are big ones on there. These are big ones. So out of some of the ones that I've named, if you want me to repeat any of them, I can. But like, what are big ones for you? What would you give your top 5 to, as far as that list of different relationship factors that you have in your life? No.
You named a lot, so I probably will forget a lot of them. I think probably my biggest one. I'll tell you my biggest one. Communication. Well, I'll tell my biggest two probably. Communication and conflict resolution are huge on my list. I feel like, and for two different reasons, right? I do feel like communication, well, not two different reasons, but in several ways, I'll say that. Communication is super important because I need someone who is able to not only effectively tell me what their issues are, but they're also able to be receptive to me telling them where I'm coming from. And not necessarily even issues, just like anything, things that might bother you, things that you love, things that you want to work on, things that you're happy about. I want to communicate those things. I also want to feel comfortable telling you how I feel about it.
Right.
I think I say this often. I know I've said this plenty of times when we talk about this to some degree in other conversations, that when a person says something to you and you shut it down because either you're defensive or maybe you just don't understand it at the time, if you shut it down in a way that can feel like belittling or judgmental, it will change the way a person communicates with you from that point on, right? I want to be able to feel like I can talk to you about anything, and that even if it's something that you don't want to hear, at least you receive it. Even if it's something ugly, at least you're going to hear it. Like, you're going to receive it and listen to me and consider it. You may not ever agree with me,
right?
But I do want to feel like you leave the doorway open for me to be able to talk to you. But if you come at me when I'm telling you something from my point of view that doesn't necessarily look pretty, I may not ever want to talk to you about, okay, the thumbs up. I may not ever want to talk to you about anything. You know what I mean? I'm going to, from that point on, I am going to like taste my words and tread lightly before I decide to talk to you about something again. Because I don't know how you're going to handle it. I don't know if you're going to get defensive. I don't know if you're going to shut it down before we can even talk about it and really get it out. Sometimes I just want to tell you, I might just want to be telling you how I feel about something. And it can go both ways with both negative and positive stuff. I've had relationships where I've said something positive to people and their response was I don't know, sort of nonchalant. And it made me feel like, oh, well, maybe, you know, that feels weird to them. They don't really like, you know what I mean? Maybe they don't like that kind of
Right.
affection.
Right.
Right. Listen, Mark, I've had to learn the hard way. I've had to learn the hard way that that's an option. I mean, I know it's an option. It's just, you know, I've had to learn the hard way that that's something that I should do. But I've definitely had people
Mhm.
make me feel like I've had conversations where I wanted to tell somebody how I felt, and they have made me feel like I'm a problem for having a feeling.
Right.
You know what I mean? They'll be like, I feel too much and we're never going to agree on this, and I'm bringing the mood down by talking about it. Like, oh, but okay, but shouldn't I be able to tell
Yo,
you?
Shan, what's going on?
Honesty is
Honesty.
more easily forgiven over. True. I I just want, you know, I want to be able to not only express myself in a way that is effective and where I feel like at least my opinions and feelings are being heard, but I also want my partner to feel the same way and want to do that with me too. It's equally as important to me that they communicate with me. If they are not telling me how they feel about stuff, I feel like they're shutting me out
Yeah.
and that we're not connecting. And that is also a problem. If you can't share with me how your day is going or how you feel about things,
Yeah.
then we're not really connecting. Honesty, don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Right. I want to listen. Don't try to spare my feelings. Tell me what you feel. Like, tell me the
Mhm.
real. I will respect you so much more. Tell me the dirty stuff. Like, tell me the stuff you think I don't want to hear. I love that shit. Like, that's important to me. Because it makes me feel like, okay, it may be ugly and it may be raw, but at least you trust me enough to tell me what you think that I don't want to hear, and you know that I'm going to be receptive of it.
So what I'm hearing is, and I have the list, I can basically pick out what it is for you. You're falling under the line of transparency and honesty with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need then it's forgiveness that goes along with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let me see, communication,
Absolutely.
and then it's just I don't know if it's the growth of the relationship that you're experiencing in that too. I don't know for sure, but this is what I'm
I mean,
seeing.
I definitely think it would help with growth. You
Yeah,
know,
will
I
help
mean,
with it.
when you
Handling the stress too,
Mhm.
like that factor is kicking in for you too.
Yeah,
Handling the
and
stress.
conflict resolution.
Yeah,
That was going to be
conflict
my other thing that
resolution.
I
Yeah,
said. I feel like if we can talk about things and you tell me how you feel and I be receptive, and I tell you how I feel and you're receptive, even if it is hard, at least we can come to some sort of conclusion. And maybe we
yeah,
won't, but at least we'll talk about it. Like, maybe it won't be pretty for the both of us, but we're able to talk about it and really work through it. Those are the kinds of things that are really, like, people think that communication has to be pretty all the time, and it's not. Sometimes you're going to hear things you don't want to hear, but that's just a part of it.
right.
And you have to be able to be receptive to that, and like, just take it. Like, you got to take it. It's not always going to look good. It is not always going to look pretty.
Hmm. So if I'm looking at the things that I have on that list for myself too, um, uh, communication is the big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm not always the best at it. That's why it's a big thing for me, because it's like you got to try it. You got to try to be more effective with communication and be more
Right.
effective with talking to people, and you know, being able to relay things better. That's really big for me too. Hold on, just comments and stuff are coming in still. Intimacy, physical touch, my main love languages, and can come off as needy to someone who doesn't like to be intimate with their partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the
I think
part
that
right
happened
there.
too.
People look at you as being needy or something like that. They just
Ooh, yeah.
they mistake that, but it's like, and I get it, circumstances, but like I don't want to place the thing on a person and say, well, you need that person in this situation, but that person know when they need you. So it's like, even though it isn't all the time basis, like at a point they're going to need you for something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then now they're needy in that moment. So it's like, you know, some people just like what they like, and that's it. But you got to know who you're talking to or with at the same time too. If you know
Yeah.
that this woman is needy, and you know this woman is a touchy feely, cuddly, like to lay on you, or man that's like that, don't don't make it a problem later on down the line if you know you already could have handled it, dealt with it, got away from it a long time ago. So I see that too. But family and friends is a big one to me too. That's a high one on the list.
Are you meaning that, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but are you meaning like how you involve family and friends, or how they interact with their family and friends?
People.
Okay.
How I involve people and how people are, like, how we all intertwine, like how you take care of your relationships. Like if you're a person that don't take care of your relationships, you're very disrespectful to your people's, like do what you want, but it's like there's a line of how you treat somebody. Like if I know like you're abusing your wife or your person in life, like that's not going to roll with me.
Right.
No. Like I'm sorry, go ahead. You got it.
Oh no, I'm just putting up pictures. There you go. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. And I was actually going to plot to, I'm gonna need people to stop trying. What did he say?
Oh, he said he gonna need people to stop trying to get with people that don't align with him.
Yeah, and that's why I said what I said. Like people do that all the time. But it's like the thing is, you have lessons in life that you have learned, and you are where you're at now. Like I said, telling someone that is 21 years old is easy to talk to them and try to get through to them, but they're going to do what they want to do because they've never experienced that before. Or if they experience it, they don't know any other way, so they keep doing the same thing over and over again. We were talking on Sixes Live, and she asked a question about something about where women can what was it with women? It was something with women basically just accepting any, whatever the man is, like instead of holding him accountable for things. Like I think I mentioned something about, well, I've witnessed where people will bring in people that don't have nothing going on for themselves, and they will stay with that person knowing that he doesn't have nothing that benefits her life. He just handing out hard dick and bubble gum, like probably a great stepdaddy, but just probably a reason why she has him there. And he's probably handing out amazing D because, obviously that broke D is going to put that work in. They're going to make sure that that's there and, trick you up. And then I also said, like, there goes the curse at the same time, is that those are the type of men that will get you pregnant. Now you stuck with a baby and he out. And a lot of the times that happens. I've seen it happen to a couple of people that I know personally. Like, damn, like you can kind of know you were messing with a ain't shit person, but you kept going forward. So it's like there's a responsibility you got to hold to yourself with that too. Like even if a person is gaslighting you up and doing whatever, motherfuckers still know what he's doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. He still knows, like, or you still know what's going on. There is no room where you can say, no, I don't know what's going on. You have a responsibility to things too. You know what I mean? Like, so
I can agree with that, Legendary. I think, and I say that because I feel like every relationship can, good or bad, will teach you something. Even the worst ones. That is where the value can come out of it. You've learned something. And that kind of ties into like the next question I was going to ask you, Mike. Like, I know we kind of just talked about, and Marcus was saying that, trying to get with people that don't align with him. And I was saying, I have done that before, but I will say this. I think it has a lot to do with life and learning and experiences, and maybe we understand or view what our expectations are or what our priorities are differently as we grow and as our life changes. And also when we're younger, maybe we don't even really understand what that stuff is because we don't really know a lot about ourselves. Like a lot of times being really introspective has a lot to do with how you set and prioritize the things that you want in a relationship. And sometimes when we're immature, we don't know what we really need out of relationships, right? So we make choices and stay with partners and choose things that aren't the best fit for us because we're still in a growing process of really knowing who we are. And our priorities can change and can shift a lot over time. A lot of it is a lot about knowing who you are. I know that for me, and the reason why I can say I've made those choices before and I've made those mistakes and been with people who have made me feel shut down or who didn't communicate effectively and have done all that stuff or have made me feel like my way of love and love language is wrong, had a lot to do with me not knowing how to prioritize what was important to me, and me not knowing what really was important to me, and me not being able to be like, this is what I need because this is important, and I'm not going to put up with this. It took sometimes experiences. It took me learning more about myself before I was able to really know what I was going to put up with versus what I wasn't going to put up with. What might work for somebody else, but that won't work for me.
Right.
It takes time, I think, and experience. I think sometimes when we're younger, we don't know that much about ourselves, and we just still need to learn. If you're not learning from relationships, then you're doing the wrong thing. Like, you're not, if you're repeating the same mistakes over and over again, you're doing something wrong. Like, take something from every last one of them, and then hopefully that will help you to like be able to evolve the things that you prioritize over time. But you have to be able to like really look at it from like, you know, really, really evaluate what happened here on both sides, on your side and the other person's side.
Right.
You can figure out what those things are.
Right. So Marcus, what he wrote was basically like, and this is pretty much the issue that does happen. It's just that, you know, like you said, society pushes that idea that a woman is only validated through a relationship with a man. It's no wonder why so many put up with bullshit.
Very true.
And that's the part. It's like, another question I was asked earlier was, it says something about what can men do to better improve themselves. I was like, okay, first you need to start off with how you raise how you, like, learning from your mistakes is the number one thing that you could possibly do, is learn from your mistakes. But not only do you learn from your mistakes, you actually start teaching people the right way of things too, or at least a way of treating people with respect, and learning how to treat people with love and respect, and how this is supposed to work. People choose not to do it because they only know how to, like, especially nowadays, from what I hear, it's always sexual talk. Only thing a woman can give a man is sex. That's it. A lot of people feel like that. Oh, the only thing you do is just, you know, make me feel good. That's it. But it's like, I also hear that with people who have wives say that about other women. It's like, but do you feel like that towards your own wife? So it was like, what do you do as a person to better yourself? Like, you create these problems, and this is why a lot of people live in this space where they're like, they're trusting somebody, they will just take in a fucking stray, because at this point, the person that they really probably want to be with ain't shit. You know, like, so it was like, you feel like you're settling for these type of people now. You're settling for somebody that is, regardless if he just lives in your damn house and eats your cookies and shit all day. As long as he's there, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't cheating on you. He ain't doing this. He's just there now. He ain't doing nothing else for you. He's just there. So you a lot of people get settled on things like that because these false narratives get pushed. A lot of mothers raise their children with all these crazy expectations that they gotta, you got to get married, and you got to be able to cook for your man. You got to be able to clean for your man. You got to be able to do this. And it's like, I'm so serious when I say this. When some people apply those things at me, they'll get weirded about it. There's things I will do just naturally what I'll do. But like, when I get those roles thrown at me a certain way, I'm like, I can feel it. And I'm just sitting there like, I just want you to be you. I don't want you to be with a standard of what someone else think is right and what it is. Like, just be you. Like, but I guess this is just being you. You know, like, it's tough. And it's like, when you have conversations with people and you still hear those things come out a certain way, when you still hear those teachings that they had from a child growing up, that, you know, like I said, to cook and to clean and to provide me with happiness and be my peace and all that stuff. It's like, just be you. Like, what are you doing? Like, do you feel like that's all you have to offer to me as a person? You know, and as a woman, do you feel like that's all you have to offer to me is these tangible things that I can pretty much do myself? A
lot of people are taught that's the things that it takes to keep a relationship or to keep a man. Like, that a lot of people are raised that way, that you have to know how to, and while those are all like things that we all should be doing for one another, a lot of people feel like that is the things that, hey Ray, those are the things that we need to that they have to be able to do to keep a person, but that ain't gonna keep somebody all the time, because that's just nothing. But I wanted to say two things. First, because I'm gonna go ahead and say this now because I've been thinking it the whole time, and it's probably keeping me from focusing. Is your hair darker?
No.
Okay, it looks really dark. Okay, sorry. I had to get that out. Like ADD moment. Like it was, I've been trying to listen and I've been looking at your hair this entire time, and I'm struggling to keep my thoughts together because I'm looking at your hair. Okay. Second thing, on the flip side, on the other coin of what you're saying, I feel like sometimes we can on the flip side of that, people can prioritize certain things that also makes them end up, he got that just for me. That also will make them because they prioritized certain things, they end up falling short in other things that they don't even realize is important to them. For instance, if you're prioritizing, if you're one of your main things that you're prioritizing in relationships as a woman, if you're prioritizing a person who can buy you nice gifts and get you things and pay for things and take you out, that's important. Like you need a person who makes a certain amount of money because you like gifts and you want stuff, and you need a person who can pay your bills or who can buy you nice things. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but there are times when, because that's what your main priority is, you may not be prioritizing things that really are the root of what will keep a relationship together, like trust, like communication, like transparency, because that was so important to you that you let other things that really would be the real foundation of your relationship, they would, you let them fall away, because that was more important. It happens a lot. A lot of women, because they want to, a lot of times women, because they want a certain type of lifestyle, sometimes they don't pay attention to the other things, and they can fall into a pattern of being with a person who will treat them any kind of way. There's this girl who she often talks about her relationship issues, and she tries not to go into detail because people always will judge her, but she's very transparent, and I like that. She has been in relationships with people who have high like social status, and she fell in love, and because of their social status, and because it was providing a certain type of lifestyle, I think, for her, she let certain things slide. And then what ended up happening was infidelity in a way that felt very that made her feel like she was used. But it was because at the time her priority was one thing, and she was really looking at the glitz and the glam of all of it. And because she let things slide because they weren't priorities to her, she ended up, getting cheated on and being hurt. And then she went back and it happened again. You know what I mean? Because she was still kind of in love with the status as opposed to the other things that, she really probably should have been prioritizing, like, being faithful and being honest and open. It was really more about the lifestyle. And that was her priority. And that would mean a lot to her. And so a lot of the other things fell by the wayside. And she overlooked a ton of shit that should have mattered to her because that was more important.
And that sort of, like, even with listening to that, just sound like she fell herself into a role. Like most people just live into these roles. They put themselves in a role. It doesn't have to be the role of what the standard roles that they try to make for it, but she created her own role to say, I want to be this in the person's life.
Right.
And that's all like I said, is that all you have to offer? Like, it's weird because I feel like when you with somebody who is free as a bird, and it's almost like looked down upon because it's like, oh, well, she's just a wild child, or he just a wild child. He does whatever he wants. And it's like, nah, it's more or less like, I want to keep living my life, but I'm adding you to it.
Right.
Keep being me, but adding you to it. And it's almost like somebody immediately grounds you and tells you now, like, yo, you need to be right here now. No, I'm here now, so I need you to be this for me now. And it's like you can kind of, as you're doing that, you start pulling away from the person that you naturally are now. You start becoming somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that change can't be created out of it, of course, but pulling someone away from who they naturally are because you need this level of standard for yourself, you got to find somebody that fits that mold for you at this point.
But it's a two-way street. I feel like just as
Mhm.
important as you're telling a person you need them, you need this, and that person wants to make you happy, as the other person on the other coin, you have to be able to say, I can't give that to you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's now
You have
time
to be able to say, I can't be that person.
yeah,
I
it's
might
time to
love
leave
you,
that
but,
alone.
and I don't want to lose this, but I can't be that person. And you have to figure out if this fits for you or if it doesn't. You
Right.
can say, I would love for this, or I think this is my ideal relationship. And I have to be able to say to you, well, that don't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thumb. It's like every time it
was
sees my
perfect
thumb, it's
timing.
like, they were
It was
like, yes,
perfect
that's what
timing.
you
Like,
say,
yeah,
girl.
she's
That's what
right.
you tell them.
She's
But
absolutely
you have
right,
to be
y'all.
able to be like, that don't work for me.
Yeah.
And so now where do we go?
Yep. So I want to answer Shane's question. Now, Shane, I'm being transparent with how I feel about this stuff. Obviously, I understand how religion works now, and it will put you into a role. But for the people that are practicing it together, if that's what makes them happy and that's what does it and helps their relationship, then cool, do it. I will say that it is very important because my mom is Muslim, her fiance is Muslim. They do their thing together and they travel together. They do all types of stuff together. So it's like, it is what it is. But I do realize, like, as I talk to my mom, I will hear roles that she feels like that she has to do. So it's like, that's your life. You're living your life in the role that you're doing. But it creates equalness and happiness for them. Cool. Even though, if you read a lot of the stuff that goes down in it, it's different. But I'm not looking down. I'm not talking down on anybody's stuff because I'm not a part of it. I can't live my life that way. Only if once you try to apply that shit at me and try to hurt other people with it, I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say if they're doing the same thing, it's important, and it could possibly work for them because I've seen many people be happy in these type of relationships. And I mean, I don't think that everybody fights and argues and they just having a screaming contest for 50 years. Like, they have problems within those 50 years. The same way you live your life, you might have an argument with your mom once a year, but that might be the equivalent of someone else having an argument with their wife or their husband or, their partners, whoever it is, or their significant other once a year.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll tell you throughout these 50 years, we have had fights. We have had this. Because it happens throughout time, and I feel like the same thing applies to friendships and family, and you might argue with your dog and your cat too.
Yeah, I'll say this in response to Shane's question. I feel like it's sort of similar to what you're saying. To each their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do know that there are relationships that exist where people do not have or practice the same religion, and they work, right? But I do also know that for some people, it's very important that they do practice the same religion because it has a lot to do with their faith. They want to carry on that faith within their household. They want, certain religious values and teachings to be taught to their children. And those things are very important. And so for them, having a person who has the same religion or same beliefs is very important. And that's understandable. I feel like it just depends on where it works for you. I think within friendships, for me, like, I don't necessarily have to be friends with people who believe the same as me. I don't necessarily need that. I think optimally, I do prefer to have someone who is somewhat, when it comes to a relationship, is like-minded in my faith, just because I want to be able to share those points with them, and I want to, be able to share and talk about it. I don't want somebody to be like, I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Because it's important to me. It's a part of me. So for me personally, it is somewhat important for me to find someone who understands and like follows values and views in the same way.
I'm about to bring Marcus up here.
But I do feel like it just kind of like, it varies. It varies for people and for what works for them. And who's to tell you that you can't be with somebody? Like, it's all dependent upon what works for you. Like Mike was saying, certain religions have very strict like guidelines for the roles within relationships, and that's probably really important, because if you are a Muslim man and you expect a certain thing from your wife in a certain role, you probably need a woman who understands that and believe that,
Right.
Wait, maybe she's not wicked.
I'm about to read it. I'm about to post it up. This dude is, this person, he's what fucking wild. I was
Wait.
It's about political alignment.
Ooh,
That's what it was really referring
I'm
to.
Wiccan.
I'm Wiccan, so I can't be with someone who looks down on my practice.
That's understandable.
Sure. Yep. You don't have to practice, but acceptance is fine for me. Nice. And then Legendary Shane said, understood. He said, I have a Christian, a Wiccan partner, and one who have no idea what they believe. He said,
Wait, maybe look, I don't listen. It's about whatever works for you, right? If it works and y'all are all cool, then okay. But like Natty was saying, like it's important to not. You don't want. I swear,
you got to turn that shit off.
I don't know how, but I'm gonna figure it out. It's important, I think, to at least have someone who respects your values.
Right.
Now, in response to Marcus's question about political values, Marcus, do you remember we had a conversation? I told you I was dating. It was a podcast. It was a show. I told you I was dating someone, and one time he expressed that he was in support of Trump. And I thought that I might, like, it took everything I had not to break up that day. I don't even know why I didn't. It really, like, I'm not even gonna lie.
You OG triple OG for not doing it. That's the part.
I wanted him to elaborate. Like, I needed understanding. I didn't know how I missed it. I was like, how could I have not? How are you springing this on me like midway, like into our relationship? Like, why did we not have this conversation earlier? And what is your logic? Like, it took the wind out of my sails. And I think because of the timing of when we had the conversation, it made me not immediately exit stage left because I wanted to.
You eventually did, so that's all that matters.
I did eventually.
But the part is, did you smash one more time? Nasty, yo. You nasty. That's messed up. Yo.
Possibly.
That's crazy.
I can't remember. Yeah, more than likely.
I'm not gonna be off alone because I'm supposed to be
the
golfing.
Fucking geek, like.
I was just popping in real quick. What's up?
What is happening?
She asked a question.
What's good?
What's good? But yeah, I don't know. Hey, Joy.
What's up, Joy?
I don't know how, but we ended up, like, when he said that, first of all, I almost didn't sleep at all that night. Like, I was like, I'm with the man.
That's a Trump supporter?
A black man that supports Trump.
Right. He coming up on this motherfucker, like, trying 2,000 out this bitch. Like,
yeah.
So, wait, this is the funny part. I asked her, I said, so, but did you still smash one for a good time before you left?
Listen, I have been in a relationship where I hated the person I was with and we smashed again just cause. Like, I would have been like, I can't stand him.
But we gonna do it one more time.
We're gonna do it one more time. It's okay.
Yo, y'all can't hear my TV in the background, can you?
No.
Okay.
You watching freaky stuff?
No, it's y'all.
Oh.
Like, I had you on the TV while I was playing golf, and I was like, you know what? Let me jump on real quick because I saw you sent the link.
So he playing golf, knocking shit down, and like, oh, so you guys are that's type of rookie. So you guys, can you see us through your?
Yeah, I see you.
Oh, okay.
I am a person I was a political science major, and I am a person who is very open to all political viewpoints. I am open to hearing them. I'm just not open to. I don't believe in all of them. Okay, I don't
even respect most of them.
I don't subscribe to all of them, but I'm open to hearing them, and I will allow you, as long as you don't disrespect me, I won't disrespect you. And like, I feel like I have a certain level of tolerance.
I barely respect liberalism at this point. Like, it's just
I have a certain level of tolerance, but yeah, that was one that I didn't know I was going to be able to survive. I managed. I don't even know how. You know what it was? He knew how angry I was, and he said we were never going to talk about it again. Literally, in that conversation, he said we will never bring this up again. We will never talk about this again.
I feel like how distant are you with your personal politics that you could even say something like that? Like politics,
Like what?
like, oh, we're never going to talk about this again. While we try to maintain a relationship. Politics to me is like core to who I am. It's
Mhm.
it's the lens by which I view the world.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, so how can I like not approach this or not bring this up? Like, I feel like this is
Right,
something that
right.
we need to fundamentally be aligned on, because there's a big swath of politics that's basically anti-humanity. You know, and
Which
if
was
you
my point exactly. Like that was my point. I was like, how can you possibly tell me you subscribe to this? Like I don't even understand how you can. And I can't even go back through his reasoning, y'all, but it was really just him sort of in a very ignorant way, overlooking very valid, concerning points, only to focus on other things that felt important to him at the time, but overlooking all the stuff that we need to look at. And I think at that point, like when he realized that I was so passionate about it, he was like, yeah, we'll just never talk about this. We don't have to ever bring it up.
Buddy, funny as shit. I had a picture for you, Marcus. I needed to post this because I feel like you look just like Buddy right now. You'll see what I'm talking about. It all makes sense in 5 seconds.
I forgot my controllers, and I'm trying to use my hand controllers. I can't remember.
This is so funny to me.
Damn, it's not in the right format. I hate when I get pictures and they're not in the right format.
Get your life together.
I'm trying. Big time. But you'll love this picture. I'm going to send it to you. Make sure.
You better not be the boy from Darkwing Duck. Remember the robot?
Nah. Oh, that is funny.
The robot boy on the unicycle?
Right.
Or his legs was the motorcycle?
Basic. Look at this. Tell me he don't look like this right now.
Oh, he does.
Not too funny.
He does. I see it.
He missing a beard, though. That's all it is. He missing a beard.
But Mike,
Yes.
Marcus, you can answer this too.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever how often do you think your standards or how you prioritize certain things change? Like, has it changed drastically for you, or do you feel like the same core things kind of still are important to you over the years?
One of the core things for me is having fun in a relationship.
Okay.
That is why I'm with people. I am
Right.
with people to enjoy myself to a greater degree than I would by myself. So that's been a core tenet for a very, very long time now. And when I'm not having fun in a relationship, you know, something's got to give. So that's something that really hasn't moved for me. Then there's other things that just kind of by virtue of the community of people that I'm with and certain standards that are just like innate and are fleshed out and talked about super early. There's things I don't think about, like communication and stuff like that. Like I don't give it's not something that's like heavy in my head when people are talking about relationships and stuff, because like the people that I associate with, it's just very second nature, you know. So that's, you know, like when y'all were listing off the things about like what y'all prioritize like in relationships, I'm like, damn, like I don't really give too much thought to like none of that stuff. Like I'm looking at like, oh, what are your views on like ableism and international politics and stuff like that,
right?
You know, because those things and it's not that they don't apply, they absolutely do. But
would you say it's mostly because you haven't had that be an issue? Because for me,
absolutely.
The reason why it's important to me is because that has often been an issue in relationships with me about how we communicate with one another.
You know, it's very easy to snuff out poor communication when you are thorough in understanding how to communicate in different forms of communication and stuff like that. And me, like being non-monogamous, I have to think about things like triangular communication. That's not something that monogamous people think about, you know. So the level of which that like I kind of understand communication and the people that I'm in that I'm like connected to, that understanding is like very much there, and it's easy, and so it's not something that comes up.
Okay.
What about you, Mike?
I would say it just changes depending on why I'm making, like, why it needs to change. Like, if it's something that I feel like it's an issue, I'll change it. I'm not changing it just because it's, I'm with somebody who wants me to change overall how I am.
But not changing you, changing what you need, what you prioritize.
Oh, what I prioritize. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about like what a person. Okay. So what I would prioritize, not really. Nothing really changes. I really just keep everything real simple and the same. Like how I am, I just like to adapt and try to learn as much as I possibly can. And keep going forward and keep being who I am, because I feel like who I am is why people gravitate towards me in the first place.
Right.
There's something obviously I'm doing, just being me, that's having people keep being friends.
6'7" and light skin.
That has nothing to do with it.
That has so much.
The people that don't see me personally still like me when I talk. So it's like, there's more to me than just my height.
Is it just me, Marcus? Does his hair look dark though?
You got that just for me.
It's real dark. It's not. It's red. It's giving black. Like you just put a little tint, a little red in it or something.
It don't look right.
It looks. It's not like, I can't tell that. If I didn't know you, I wouldn't know your hair was red.
It do look mad dark.
Not like does.
Right, because it's just kind of far away from it I am.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, it's the light.
It looks a lot darker today.
I'm using a white light.
Okay, maybe that's it.
The white light.
It's just been distracting me this whole time. Mine has changed a lot throughout the years, and maybe it's just because over time and learning, like I said, over time and relationships, having negative things and positive things happen in relationships, learning about myself, and also where I am in life versus where I was when I was in my 20s. What I prioritized 100% has changed over a period of time, right? Learning, like, let's take, for instance, communication. I might not have prioritized that in the beginning and let a lot of shit slide because I didn't know how important it was. And I didn't even know how to handle somebody shutting me down when I'm trying to talk to them. You know what I mean? I didn't know what that felt like. I didn't know how to handle that. I didn't know how to manage that. But having it happen to me enough, I knew that I needed somebody who was not going to make me feel shut down when I talk to them, or who wasn't going to be like, when you say something, you doing too much. I didn't know that I needed that originally. So once I learned it, then that became a priority of mine. We can't talk to each other, you can't tell me how you feel about shit, and I can't tell you. I've had a relationship end because a dude stopped talking to me about stuff like random, like he just stopped communicating, period. And I lost all interest because we weren't connected. Like I didn't know anything about his life for real, like, or how he felt about anything. And when he was like, what can I do to make this better? I don't know, talk to me. Like, I feel like I don't even know you, honestly.
Yeah, but that, hold up.
Right? Like, I feel like you don't talk. When we talk about very surface level things. But when it comes to me knowing about how you feel about things in your everyday life, like you don't talk to me about how anything affects you. I don't feel any connection to you. I've kind of lost interest because I don't feel like I know any. So I need that. That's important to me. But also, like, to go back to what I was saying in the beginning about, like, when I was talking to my mom about what is a priority to me now versus when I was younger. My mom had made a statement to me, and this literally happened last week. Last week. She made a statement to me about the type of person that she wants me to date and find, and that she wants me to find a man who's going to take care of me. And she was talking about like how much money they make. And I had to like back her up and be like, listen, I get what you're saying, but the same things that I might have looked for in my 20s are not the kinds of things that I'm necessarily looking for now at 42. While I do want a man who's self-sufficient and who can take care of himself and who can contribute if we were ever to live together, if that's the thing, while that is all important to me, it is not my main priority that the man that I meet has to have a 6-figure job. I need someone who's going to make me happy and treat me well. I prioritize that more so than like how much money you make. Because I'm at a point in my life where I just want to be happy. I've had people who make plenty of money treat me like shit. So it isn't about like whether or not you have a 6-figure job. It's about how you treat me and how I feel in this relationship. And is there emotional security? Those are the things that really matter to me right now in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need like someone who like you don't have to like pay my bills for me. I can pay my bills. Can you help? Yeah, great. That's great. Like, okay, great. If you can help, awesome. If we contribute to each other's lives, great. But is that my main priority, that I'm looking for a man who makes a 6-figure job? Not necessarily, because the things that are really important to me are like emotional security and really feeling happy and supported and loved, and where we can like reciprocate that kind of energy with one another. And I had to explain to her that at this point in my life, I've been alone for long enough where what I want is totally different from what I might have been looking for when I was 20 and needed someone to build a life with. I'm not looking for someone to like have a home and raise a family and all that stuff. So maybe the things that were on my checklist before then, the things that I prioritized aren't the same. It doesn't mean they're not important to some degree, but just not in the same ways. I need a level of emotional security that I didn't have before, or it was maybe wasn't as important to me before as it is now. I want to find happiness in a different way. I want someone that I can enjoy life with. So while her first standards might be, well, what kind of job do they have? That's not the first thing on my list. And that's not the thing I want you to ask me about. I want you to ask me, how do they make me feel? I want you to ask me how they treat me. I want that to be the most important thing for you.
Listen, we live in a capitalist society. Don't nobody care about your feelings. Yeah, that's why we need to know what they can provide. That's the only way we validate people, especially men, by what you can provide. That's it. You can't provide anything. Get out.
It's a sad truth. But like what I value is just different now. And I wanted her. She kind of felt bad because she thought that she was like, I'm not trying to say anything bad. Like, I just want the best for you. And I was like, I get it, but maybe your best for me is different from what my best for me is.
Yep.
What you see as the best for me is a little different. It looks a little different for me. I said, I don't want you to think that I'm saying I'm just going to like invite any bum off the street into my life. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm telling you is that what I prioritize, what I'm looking for in a person is a little different when it comes to ranking what's important to me, if that's even a thing. That is not like what we see, and how we view it is different. She would love for somebody to come in and say, you don't ever have to do anything anymore to me. She would love that.
Right. Right. I feel like before people, especially like parents, before they project onto people and then have to lead down this winding road to eventually come to, oh, I'm just trying to, suggest or do what's best for you. Why not just ask people up front? Like, what is it that you want, or what does work best for you? Like, what is good for you? How about you start to change your framing, from them points of projection, because it's grounded in some shaky ideas, to say the very least, and just like kind of reframe to like, hey, like, let me listen to what this person wants for themselves.
Right. Mike, did you send me something?
Yeah, text messages.
I didn't get it.
So, wait, hold on.
Oh shit.
So, yeah, I gotta step off. My kid left her stuff in my back seat, and the stuff that she needs for school.
Oh no! So do we
that
need
she has to have for tomorrow?
Yikes!
So what y'all doing? Like,
do we need to end early? Which is completely fine. I mean, kids come first. We get it.
Yeah, I gotta leave out.
No, I get it. I understand.
Live on the show. This is gonna be an echelon and engraved, and I'm gonna edit this part out. So we're gonna skip past to the part where it's the exit. So
okay, got it.
But y'all, if y'all want to continue, you can continue.
No, it's okay. It's
step
cool.
down when you're ready.
I said we'll bust it up real quick.
Yeah, y'all go there, y'all bust it up. I'm gonna step down. I will see y'all not next week, because I do gotta go protect the union next week. My brother's in arms, so I won't be on there next week. but I want to gear up for this game show. And somebody did ask me a question, but I don't know if I have time to answer that question. It's a very long question.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we answer these next couple questions really quickly, and then we can just head out.
Yeah, I see someone asked you a question directly. Mike.
Yeah. Splitting the bills, or do you take care of everything and just get her to move in? I don't take care of everything just to get somebody to move in. Hell no. I mean, yeah, there is a discussion around splitting things and how that works and stuff like that. I would think that that's what it would be, just to see how this is supposed to work. That's all. I'm about creating it for each other. So
yeah,
how does that work? Don't know, because I haven't been in that position in a long time. So
right.
Yeah.
And to answer your question for me, I'll put it up real quick. You said
she
said she wants a man to make her happy and get emotional security. I noticed she didn't mention sex. Is that not a priority as she gets older? Yeah, it is.
It's a priority. She like 69s and shit. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. I know you don't. I don't know nothing. I'm just fucking with you.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Sex is important.
Mm-hmm.
I need it. Yeah.
Why you start rubbing your neck? That's how I need it. That's how they start scratching.
Sex is so not a priority for me.
Whatever. No, I'm playing.
But I do think that that's because like I'm super satiated. Like I have fucking sex all the goddamn
right.
time.
Exactly my point.
So
that's
it's not something that You're
good.
Yeah.
You're good.
No, yeah, but
you got a mental capacity to be able to just chill on some shit too. If you want to chill, take a chill. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Take a chill.
Yeah. But no, yeah, sex is important. Let's not get it twisted.
Anyway, I'm getting hell off of here.
No, okay, so
if y'all want, and you can do your exit. You know how to exit this stream. I'm going to sign off right now. B for Barkers. I'll see you later on the video games. Don't get too ahead, man. This boy, he don't listen for shit. I'm like, hey, yo, wait for me.
Wait for what? You was on before I was on.
No, you was on. It showed that you was online just sitting there.
What are you talking about? Earlier?
Yeah.
Earlier when you sent me a text, like
you was just sitting there, like just beasting that shit. And I'm looking, I'm like, and I checked trying to join, except saying 2 out of 4. So I'm like, all right, well, I can't join. You had a whole squad the whole entire time.
Oh.
We'll go with like 29. They can be like, all right, Mike, look. I'm like, damn, I can't even catch up. Now I'm the young boy right now. And I gotta sit here and deal with the shit.
It was getting real. It was real cohesive in that squad we had.
Motherfucking real thuddy.
Not the real thuddy. I can't.
Thuddy as fucking man. But listen, I know we landed a little early. Basic, she says she's out too. It gives her a chance to go do what she do. So hey, I'm with y'all.
But no, we can always circle back to this too. I mean, the shows every week. Mike, are we doing game night when you come back? So just so everybody knows, we will not be here next week.
Unless we do it another day. I don't mind doing it another day.
Okay, we can reschedule.
Mm-hmm. We could do it like Monday, Sunday. I don't care. Just to have fun.
Down. Yeah.
All right. I ain't got nothing to do with, work.
Oh, yeah, we probably should do it another day because, well, I'll talk about that later. Sorry. Yeah, we'll reschedule. We'll do it a different day.
Of course. Same to you. Same to you. Thank you for coming
let's get
through.
The hearts out. Bam.
I'm about to exit this drink. She over there. Throw your two.
Oh wait, is it gonna do it? It did it with the thumbs up.
Where the hell?
All right. See y'all. We signing out. Bye.